What's up, guys? This is Magnus Manga, and I'm coming to you guys with my top 15 manga of 2022. This is a pretty good list. It largely consists of shonen, because that's a lot of what I collect, but I do think it overall is a good list. So yeah, let's get right into it. First up, the top 15 of 2022 for me is Dan Da Dan by Yukinobu Tatsu. Essentially, the main girl, she believes in spirits, and the main guy believes in aliens, and they get into an argument, and so they end up. The UFO guy goes to the most haunted spot in Japan, like in their area, and then she goes to a place where UFOs have been known to occur, and then they both get into some wacky shenanigans. I thought it was a decent first volume, but it could be better, and so I'm going to give it about 2 or 3 more volumes to see whether I like it or not. Next up is Tokyo Aliens, and I thought this was pretty good. The art style is actually amazing. It is by Naoe. That's probably a pen name of some kind. It's essentially about this guy who he finds out that one of his classmates works for in an alien department of the police force, and he ends up getting involved, finding out that his father was part of that same division of the police, and he's starting to get involved. It was a good first volume. What really stuck out to me was the cover, which is a large portion of why I picked it up in the first place. It's worth checking out, but I can't wait to see if the story will get better or not. Next up is The Elusive Samurai. This is a historical fiction by Yusue Matsui, and he's the guy who made Assassination Classroom. The art style is very much like Assassination Classroom, and this cover is exquisite. By volume 3, it's starting to pick up a lot more than volume 1. Volume 1 was very okay, but as the story goes on, it's getting a lot better. It's about this prince who his entire family is betrayed and wiped out, and he's the only one left alive, and he is slowly building up more and more power and influence to retake what was lost from him. Next up is Kimono Jihen by Sho Aimoto, and this is about this boy who turns out that he is half human, half monster, and joins this monster detective agency, and they take on different cases, and he learns more about this monster world that is living inside of Japan. It's pretty good. Volume 1 and Volume 2 were pretty good, and so that's why it's kind of higher up on the list. Still not top 10, but we'll see as the story goes on. Next up at number 11 is The Hunter's Guild Red Hood by Yuki Kawaguchi, and this is about a boy who almost loses his entire village to a werewolf and is saved by a member of the Hunter's Guild. So he decides that he is going a hunter in the Hunter's Guild, and it's a very good short series. There's only 18 chapters, so it'll be a nice, easy breeze. It's also, the artist was the creator of the series. He worked on My Hero Academia, which is why a lot of the art looks very similar to stuff you might see in My Hero Academia. Now at number 10 is Blue Box by Koji Miura, which is a shonen romance about a boy who plays badminton and a girl who plays basketball, and well, because of some different events, she ends up living with him, and so he's developing feelings for her, and so he's trying to work up his way to ask her out while also playing their respective sports and stuff. Next up is Shonen Note Boy Soprano by Yuki Kamatani, which is an amazing, I think this is really one of my only shoujo. I think it's shoujo. I don't think it's shonen. It's about a boy who can sing soprano, which, if you don't really know much about music, that is the highest voice part, and it tends, probably about 99% of them are women because of how high the notes are. And well, a lot of the reason why he can sing that part is because he's still growing up, and so it's kind of a coming of age story as his voice is starting to get deeper and he can't sing as high as could. This cover is absolutely amazing, which is a large reason of why I picked it up. Plus, I also really like music. This is a very underrated series, and I haven't seen anybody talking about it at all, and it's really good. So yeah, that is Shonen Note Boy Soprano. Next up is a very different series from Shonen Note Boy Soprano. It is Record of Ragnarok. Art by Azuchika, story by Shinya Umemura, and the script by Takumi Fukui. Now this is an amazing fighting series. The plot, I mean, it's very simple. The gods are ready. They're bored with humanity, and they think that it is time for humanity to be extinguished and for a new, like kind of how we replace the dinosaurs or whatever. They decide to give humanity one chance to prove themselves, and that is in a fighting tournament, gods versus men. And all of them are amazing. Adam is best dad in anime, which that's not a really high bar, but you know, whatever. It's a really good fighting series, and the anime did not do it justice whatsoever, and this is definitely worth a read. Next up is Mission Yozakuda Family by Hitsuji Gondaira. And this is a really fun spy series where the main character, the redhead, is childhood best friends with the girl with the blue hair, and I'm bad with character names. And it ends up that he discovers that she's part of a spy family, viewed as a threat by this dude right here, Mr. Sister Complex. He is being killed, and the only people are trying to kill him, and so he is trying to prove that he is not actually trying to kill the girl with the blue hair. He ends up marrying her. I'm explaining this plot really poorly, but it's really, really good, really wholesome, and some very interesting characters for a shonen series. Next up, at number 6, is Death Note short stories. This will be a fairly simple one to talk about because this is literally just a collection of short stories by Tsugumi Oba and Takashi Obata in the world of Death Note. Now, for number 5 is Go-Go Loser Ranger, also known as Reject Ranger, by Negi Haruba, who is the creator of Quintessential Quintuplets, but this is nothing like Quintessential Quintuplets. This is a series that is pretty much the mix of The Boys and Power Rangers. The Rangers, who are supposed to be the heroes of light, perfection, etc., Superman, they are actually extremely greedy, and they only put up this act to gain more power and wealth. Next up is the Tokyo Revengers Omnibus by Ken Wakui, and you probably know what this is. This is the classic, not classic. This is the series about a guy. It's almost like an isekai, where he's like this loser bum dude who peaked in middle school, and he gets hit by a train and is sent back in time, and he's trying to save his girlfriend, his only girlfriend he ever had which was in middle school, from a gang that ends up almost controlling the Tokyo underground. And so it's a really good story. I hear it ends not super great, but the first few volumes are amazing. Now, starting with our number 3 spot, is probably a volume you haven't seen much of or heard about. It is the Les Miserables manga it is based off the novel by Victor Hugo, and the art by Takahiro Arai, who is known for doing Cirque du Freak, which is I believe that's another series that he adapted from a Western novel. If you read the book, watched the movie, or listened to the musical, you know the general premise of this, but it's an amazing story set in the revolutionary era of France, and it has some amazing paneling and some amazing characters. Yeah, I'm not going to go much into the plot because of how well known a story it is overall, but it's definitely worth checking out. Now for number 2 is an amazing one-shot by Tatsuki Fujimoto. Look back as about 2 girls who become mangaka together, and they end up getting into an argument, and one of the characters ends up going to college, and there's some amazing introspective and amazing characters in this very short one-shot. It's very different from Chainsaw Man. There is some of that wackiness later on in it, but it is still an amazing read. And then last up at number 1, you probably could guess what it is. It is Blue Lock, story by Muneyuki Kaneshiro and art by Yusuke Nomura. And this is a story in which 300 of Japan's top strikers, which is a soccer position, are put together in one facility. Only one will be allowed to stay on and become a future striker for Japan. It's a really good series. It's all over the place. Most likely you've heard of this one, but yeah, it's fantastic. So here it is, the top 15, my top 15 manga of 2022. This has been an amazing year for my collection, and I am excited for what's to come in 2023. I recommend pretty much all of these series, except for maybe Dan Da Dan. That one I'm still kind of figuring out what I'm thinking about the series. So definitely check out some of my other videos. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Ciao.